Hi friends, it's Sarah with Ruffles and Rain Boots. I'm here with Gnome Canvases 2 ways with a giveaway for these adorable cuties. And if you would like to make them with me, just boop and boop, stick around. As always, please like this video so I know you're here crafting with me. And so today I'm going to be making 2 canvases 2 different ways with 2 different gnome napkins from Germany. We're gonna make these traditional decoupage canvases first out of 1 napkin, and here it is. The very first step is always to iron your napkin on a low setting, and the second step is to Mod Podge the front of your canvas. I'm using a 4x6 inch Dollar Tree canvas for this gorgeous napkin. Hey, guess what? It ends up being 3-ply, not 2-ply, but because I spritzed my napkin with water, I'm going to be able to undo my mistake. Well, I'm going to be able to undo one of them. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. Whoopsie, I realize this is 3-ply, not 2-ply, because it's fancy. And so I'm just going to pull off that second one. I wanted to make sure I tried it so I could give away as many of these napkins as I could. Okay, so I was able to pull that off really well because that's spritzing. For a traditional decoupage, you can use a brayer like this or a flat plastic card, but I find when working with canvas, your fingers are gonna be the best bet. And the reason is because you can not only push those fibers of the paper napkin into the canvas, but you can also pick it up and move it around really easily using your fingers as a leverage point. So it took me 1 minute to put down the front of the canvas. I'm gonna zoom in here and show you. It looks really good, y'all. For being a paper napkin, this looks fancy. Okay. Look, I got one little crease I got to get out there, but the sides are next. We're just going to use a little bit of leftover Mod Podge on our brush here and just press those sides down. So I will tell you, I made a mistake. It's coming up. Wait for it. But what I'm going to do is I always recommend you put down the layer of Mod Podge, like a thin one first, and then here's the tippy tip that I have for you today. Let it dry. Yeah, don't do this part. Don't pull it all off. Don't try and put your fingers... Yeah, that was me actually when I was recording this, just realizing my mistake. So I got out my hot glue gun, or nope, oh wow. I got out my heat gun, set it, and then started removing the rest of everything. So I do end up cutting off pieces before I take my sanding sponge to it. I find that this is the cleanest edge and it makes it really, you know, kind of finished looking. So I end up doing the front 4 and this little cutie with the lantern on a small little canvas from Michael's. Next up, this big boy is my favorite. Isn't he so cute? For this guy, we're going to end up making a reverse canvas. And if you've never done that, it's super easy. I'm using a 5x8 Dollar Tree canvas. If you win this guy in the giveaway, you are going to need a 5x8. He's not a little boy. He's a big chunky guy. So you can see I'm just making sure that he fits on this canvas. And because it is a reverse canvas, we actually have less space than what you see here. Okay? So we're going to cut off our one little fellow here and then detach him from his friends on this side as well. Okay. If you are new to reverse canvas, I promise you it's super easy. You just have to be a little careful when you're cutting it off the back. So as I mentioned, this is just a Dollar Tree canvas and these work fantastically for reverse canvases. You will have to clean up the frame sometimes, whether you're going to stain it or fill it and then stain it or paint it. So I'm just going to use a sharper pair of scissors than those. Yeah, I use those to cut dowels, so not the sharpest. And I'm just going to go outside of the staples, and then you see how easy it is. Just score it and then rip it up. So do be careful when you're ripping it up because you want to make sure it doesn't fray what goes down over the edges, because we are just going to be laying this flat and putting our frame on top of it. You may have to go over a couple of times in those corners, but as you can see, like, this is super easy to pull off, right? Look at that. It maybe took me a minute to do the entire thing. So you can undo all these staples one by one. Good luck and have fun. I don't do that anymore. I used to, and then I realized, yeah, it's not worth it. No one's gonna see it, and it usually sits flat. If you cut off all these extra pieces of canvas, you're fine. Okay, so you can see the front of my canvas needs a little bit of work. It's a Dollar Tree canvas. I end up cutting all those pieces later because we don't need to cut them right now. All right, so we're going to now measure. Now, you can do this any different way. You can combine your napkins if you're winning them. You can use any napkin. It doesn't have to be Gnome. But you do want a white canvas. If it's not white, go ahead and paint it white. So if you're using the back of this, which is sort of a khaki color, go ahead and take some white wash or some white acrylic paint and make sure it's white. It will really make your napkin pop. So in order to fit my little cutie right here, I'm using the dowel napkin or dowel scissors again. I should just throw these away. All right, so I'm gonna cut off his little feet. It's okay, it didn't hurt him. It's fine. He's okay. And then I have to round off the little part that I just messed up. But he is now almost ready for his big show. See how easy that is? He's super cute. All right, so I wanted a dimensional piece for my little hat here, so I just looked at different size pom-poms. And now as I'm watching this, I think if you took a bell and strung it through the canvas, wouldn't that be super cute? All right, so anyway, I'm just positioning here, making sure everything is gonna fit before I start tackling my frame. Put something down to protect your ironing mat. Give a workshop towel a spritz with water so it can catch some of your sanding cast-offs, and then grab that same sanding sponge and just give this guy a once over. Turn it over, cut off all those pieces of canvas that were there. At this point, you can stain it, or you can paint it, or you can leave it for a Scandi look like I did. I used my Cricut Easy Press Mini and just sort of pressed on this guy because I didn't want to tear him, and then he's ready to be positioned. So here you go. I'm going to pull him up just a little bit so his beard is showing before we are going to need to trace a little bit of this canvas so that we can cut it out. I'm just making sure everything fits before getting a pencil. By the way, you're not going to use a pen, you're going to use a pencil. But I would recommend Mod Podging at least the back of the napkin down first. So I'm just going to take a little bit of corner and I'm going to let that dry. You can use your heat gun or just go do something else like clean up your craft frame because it's a mess. I'm just saying, it's a suggestion. So anyway, once that was dry, I just put down the back of this entire napkin. And I did that to make sure that I didn't have any bubbles or anything, because I'm going to need to trace my frame. So again, this is the first step, and now I'm going to just make sure he's got a nice thin layer on top before I trace. Because again, I don't want him moving, because once I cut, I can't undo it. So give him a little blast with a heat gun. Use your hand to press on that to make sure that it's no longer sticky. And then we're gonna make sure we get this guy into the right position. Grab a pencil, not a pen. And the reason is because if you use a pen or a marker, the canvas can actually soak that up and it will bleed through and possibly show inside of your frame. Just use a pencil. It's super easy and this will not be seen. So then, as you can imagine, I just snipped it with those same really dull scissors. Ay, ay, ay. All the way around. And then I gave him his second coat of Mod Podge just to make sure he was nice and solid, and he's going to be with me for a while. Y'all, I love these little guys. Like I said, these napkins come from Germany, and I'm going to do a giveaway because not everybody's going to be able to hop on a plane and go to Germany for Gnome napkins. Okay, so once you have that all dry, we're going to flip it over. Go ahead and grab your thin or detailed tip glue gun and only use it on the outside. So you'll be able to wipe away should you add a little too much glue. We want to make sure we're nowhere near the inside because once glue is on that canvas, it's a little harder to get off. Do be sure to hold down one side and pull the entire piece taut because we want it to be like a stretched canvas, right? Go ahead and do this on all of the sides. Again, holding down one side and pulling it taut. Y'all, this guy, I think he's my favorite. I mean, I love the little guy with the lantern too, but ooh, he's so precious. And again, you can seal this frame, you can stain this frame, but I'm going to use it as is. So my last little step here is just to add the pom-pom. Again, you can add whatever you want. You could add a little glitter layer on him. He'd be super cute. Okay, so that's it for this quick craft. For the details on the giveaway, do see down below if you're on mobile. Click that little down arrow. Let me know in the comments what you think. It helps me out so much. Giveaway details are below. And hey, thanks for being here. Please like and subscribe for more crafty fun.